Hi everyone, welcome back to the CARE vlog. This is Eric and Nissar here. This is episode 13, episode number 13, and we're going to talk about a topic called health is career wealth. I'm sure you've heard about health is wealth. It's a universal topic. It's an evergreen topic. We'll cover why it is important for you to take care of your health if you really want to achieve what you want to achieve in your career. Very quickly, if this is the first time you're seeing seeing the CARE vlog, I want to quickly introduce myself, and Eric will introduce himself very shortly. My name is Nissar Ahamed. I'm the founder and managing editor of the career publishing platform called CareerMetis.com. It's a platform. The goal is to provide career advice for job seekers and freelancers, and this is a favorite topic, career management, for both myself and Eric. Speaking of which, I would like Eric to quickly introduce himself and also jump right into the topic. It's an exciting topic that I always love to talk. But Eric, why don't you start us off there?
Hey, everyone. My name is Eric B. Horn, and I'm the founder of Eric B. Horn Incorporated, which is a career management and professional development firm for college graduates and mid-level professionals. And today's topic, which is health is career wealth, it's near and dear to me. And I'll go into the reason why it's near and dear to me a little bit later in the episode. But you want to make sure that you take care of yourself. How you take care of yourself is a direct reflection of how you will be productive, not only in your career, but also in your personal life. In this day and age, we are so go, get things done. We don't take the time out to make sure our health is in track. And making sure your health is in track covers a lot of things. For example, make sure you exercise, make sure you eat right, make sure that you manage your stress or try to alleviate the stress that you endure. It's a lot of things that can take a toll on your body, and a lot of times people ignore it. The main reason why they ignore it, and this is the reason I ignored it, to be transparent, was to say I didn't have enough time. And I can look at you guys now and say that's the biggest excuse that I ever made before, because we all know you make the time. But at the end of the day, you force yourself, as much as we force ourselves to make sure that we are high achievers in life. We must make sure that we incorporate the time to take care of ourselves. I know that we'll in the future in this episode, I should say, we'll talk about other ways that how you could make sure that your health is your career wealth. But you definitely need to make the time. That's the first takeaway, because we all have calendars, we all have smartphones, we all have things that keep us on track when it comes to our careers. So I asked you the question, and I asked myself this question, why isn't my health important? I can say that it's important, but we all know it's a difference between saying something and actually doing something, right? But before I go into the example that we had and the takeaway that I want to give you guys, Nissar, how important is you being healthy? How is that important to you in your overall life?
It's very important for me. And just to give you a quick example, in the last many years, I've always been a good proponent of health. Just to give you a quick example, if I go 2 to 3 days without doing any type of exercise, I start feeling stressed out. I start feeling nervous. For me, it's a great release because I'm always working. I have a full-time career working for a software startup. Then I am running my podcast, running my site, doing things like this. So I'm always working. And any type of physical exercise I do, and health is, by the way, not only exercise, it's how your mental health, the way you eat, water, sleep, everything. So if I fail to ignore that, I can see the impact. When I go to work, if I did not exercise for the few days, I can feel the impact right away. We're not talking about long-term. You know how they say, oh, you keep doing this, in 6 months or 6 years, you're going to feel the uh, negative side effects. I'm talking about immediate. For me, it's immediate. And I think it was Jim Brown who said this. I forgot. He said, I think he was talking about why health is important. And he said something along the lines is because it's the only place you're living. You can change your job. You can move, like Eric, you're in Chicago, I'm in Toronto. We can switch places, right? I can move to Chicago. I can move to California. You can move to Switzerland. We can switch places. We can switch the people we hang around with. We can switch our jobs, our career. But so far, nobody has found a way to switch bodies. Or that's not yet. Maybe it's a science fiction thing, but that's the only thing you have, which is yours. And if you, it all starts there. Your physical health, your mental health. So that really stuck to me. I mean, when Jim Rohn said that, I said, wow, that is so true. Because to be honest, I have had the same body since birth. I'm 33 years old right now. I've had so many jobs. I've had so many different experiences. And so that's one of the silly, I know it sounds very silly and goofy, but it is true. That's why health is important. And I've given you my example, and Eric will talk more about his example. For me, it's immediate. If I don't do any type of physical exercise, hey, listen, everybody talks about to-do lists, productivities, apps, and how to become busy, how to become sharp. But one of the best productivity tips out there for your job or your business is exercise. Take care of your health. That is the, if you don't do anything else, if you do that, I can guarantee you, you know what, I will say this with confidence. I guarantee you that this would be the best thing you can do to improve your productivity. I would like to hear, Eric, you had something to share, a personal experience. I'd like to hear that. I think the audience as well. Then I can talk about some of the tangible things people can do.
Okay. I love the, yeah, you can't switch bodies piece. Oh, that was, I'll work on that. I'll figure out how we can do that and we can make a ton of money.
Yeah, I mean,
switching body piece.
We could be trillionaires.
But all jokes aside, it's funny that we're touching on this topic because a couple of days ago, I found myself in the emergency room, which is a place that no one wants to be, whether you're a patient or a visitor. I mean, it is what it is, but you know, being in the emergency room is very scary. It's very daunting, right? But with me ignoring, let me use that word again, me ignoring my health, I found myself being in the emergency room. And how it all started last week, exactly, of this recording, I started to feel a little bit under the weather. And me with the go, and we got to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to take over the world, I underestimated it to the point where I thought it was just a little cold. Okay, let me take some Theraflu, a little medicine. Okay, boom, done. Go. Let me see what I need to do to get this money. Go, right? But then it got to a point where I developed a massive headache. I had a temperature of 103. It was probably higher than that. But the last time I took my temperature, it was at 103, right? Body was aching, shivers, things of that nature, right? It got to the point where Sunday it got worse. Monday it was terrible to the point where I went to the urgent care, and I'm thinking the guy that treated me, he was just going to say, hey, vitamin C, drink water, and things of that nature. After he got all my information, he turned and looked at me and said, dude, you need to go to the emergency room right now, which I wasn't expecting. I was thinking him just to say, okay, you mean do I need to go in the aisle 7 to get the vitamin C tablets that I need? He said, no, your blood pressure is through the roof. You need to get to the emergency room right now. So after getting to the emergency room and being admitted, it got to the point where, once again, my temperature was through the roof. My heart rate was beating as if I ran a 27-mile marathon as opposed to a 26. It was crazy. But on my end, I felt normal. Once again, let me say that again. All of these health issues was going on, but I felt normal. So my body was to the point where it was shutting down. without me even making the conscious decision on knowing that something isn't right. The reason why I didn't make the conscious, not decision, make the conscious understanding that something wasn't right, because I ignored it. Because I was not eating healthy. Me eating fast food all the time, like, I'm gonna be very, very honest with you guys. Me eating fast food all the time was because I made the excuse that I didn't have time to cook, right? Me not getting enough sleep and using the excuse that I didn't have time to sleep. I didn't have time to sleep, which is ridiculous. Or me getting sleep consistent of 4 to 5 hours a day, which isn't enough, right? Me not drinking enough water, me not taking vitamins on a consistent basis. All of these things, after a certain, amount of time, i.e. a couple of years, it caught up with me to the point where when I was in the ER, the only thing that I was thinking about wasn't my career, wasn't my business. It was my wife and my child, which is, don't get me wrong, we're all about careers, so we're going to make sure that you provide and you sustain for yourself. But I was more afraid that I was about to not see my wife and my child again. I was very, very scared, based off of me not having the conscious decision to say, okay, Eric, make the time to get up and walk. And I'm gonna take it a step further with you guys. And this is something that I usually don't share with people. I'm recording in my office right now. Right outside these doors, right outside where that door is, there's a treadmill that I don't use. So actually, it's my wife's treadmill. But the fact of the matter is, I was to the point where I had a asset, a health asset, right outside these doors, and I failed to use it because I didn't think it was important. I mean, I've been afraid in my life, right? But and one thing about me, I can be afraid, and most people may not know it. It is what it is. But I recognized how afraid I was, because the room that I was in right there, the emergency room that I was in, it all could have been avoided if I would have taken. We'll talk about the simple steps and things of that nature, because now I don't beat myself up. Well, I don't beat myself up as much as I did on Wednesday. But these small little things that we'll talk about, what you can do, can change the course of how your health is. Not even just from a career perspective, but from a personal perspective also. Yes. I mean, if things would have turned for the worse, we wouldn't have we wouldn't be doing this vlog right now. If things would have turned for the worse, my wife would be making funeral arrangements.
Wow.
Which is huge. So I mean, and I say all that to say, definitely look at my situation, and if you're going down that road, or if you're on that road, I would highly recommend for you to today, based off of the topic that we talked about previously about doing stuff now, make the decision to go down another road, and then start to take small steps that Nissar and I will talk about in the next part of this blog, to get your health in order. Please do not take the lesson that I learned and apply that to your own life. Please, guys.
So Eric, I mean, I've heard so what you just told, I've heard stories from a very good friend of mine as well, very similar boat. And a couple of things I want to say before I talk about some tangible action steps is, prevention is better than cure all the time, right? A lot of people don't think that way. They are actually thinking about what happens when something happens. If you take the right steps, you can prevent all that, right? And I think that's the lesson you also learned there, Eric. And everybody talks about, going back to one of the few things we spoke about, is that you want to get work done. But let's say you fail to ignore your health, it will catch up to you. And it happened to a friend of mine, very good friend. Every time we sit down to grab breakfast, he says, I have to start working out. One day he ended up being in surgery because he said he had no time because his work was very busy. And when he got into that situation, he had to take 2 to 3 weeks off work. The doctors ordered him, we're going through surgery, next 3 weeks you're not working. So think of the irony. He was saving all this time because he was working, but he was off commission for 3 weeks in the end, right? So like Eric's story, my friend's story. I mean, this is one of my very good friends. I would not want anything bad to happen to him or Eric, but think about it that way, because you don't have to look too far in your life to have good examples like this. So anyway, we talked about the problem, right? So in terms of what you can do, I am not a fitness expert. I'm not a doctor, but something everyone can do. Um, Always a couple of things I would say is get a physical every year if you're in North America, or every few years if you're in North America. We have, or in Europe, we have the systems available. Um, Start small, right? A lot of people, a few episodes before, we talked about New Year's and goal setting. Everybody starts on January 1st. They throw everything out of the cupboard. They start buying all the leafy vegetables, and then they join the gym. What can you do today? What can you do to now? And it could be anything. It could be going for a walk. Going for a walk for 10 minutes every day could be the first step. If you live a sedentary lifestyle, there you go. Or you can start doing push-ups. Like, forget about getting a gym membership. You have a house, you have a floor. Start doing push-ups every day. There have been moments in my life where I went through a few months of not exercising, and it was very difficult for me to go back to where I used to be. So I started out doing push-ups every day in the morning, or even going for walks. Eventually, I got to a point. Okay, I can do this. Let me get to the next level. Um, and get to the next level of getting a gym membership. So, because if you don't start now doing the small things, you want to get to a point where this is so easy, so lame, that you need to go to the gym. Like, right? Because you're walking so much, like, you know what, this is so easy. I can easily walk 30 minutes. I want to get to running, join a running club. There are so many resources right now. Start small. Start something you can do today. And one of the biggest mistakes people make, is they try to do too many things at the same time, right? Fix one thing, do what you can do today. Hey, I challenge you, after this episode, if you're at home, if you've never worked out in the last 3-5 years, do a push-up, do a few push-ups, do what you can. Tomorrow, do more. Over time, you can do it, and eventually you'll get to a point. And one thing I want to say is, I personally, one of the things I pride myself is I consistently work out. I do it 6 times a week. I do it first thing in the morning, not because I want to look like Arnold or I want to get ripped, but I do it because if I don't do it, it affects me, my mood, affects my work. For me, it's a prevention mechanism, and it feels good. So I'm sharing this, so don't just think it's some guy talking about health. I practice what I preach, and it has had a significant impact on my business, on my career. So, Eric, I want to pass this off to you. Any tangible steps you can share with people?
Well, let me not touch on the physical piece, right? Because, like I said, after this episode, I'm gonna try to do some push-ups. But the mental, because one of the reasons why my blood pressure was through the roof was because I stress. I mean, I stress about everything: work, business, family, daughter, wife, mother, father. I put too much on my shoulders, and just because I have a strong back, I'll never be able to carry a car on my back. Never, right? So the mental health piece of just letting stuff go I'll be transparent. I'm going to take that on, and I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes, because it's something new to me, because me taking on the weight of the world is a norm for me. Well, let me take a step back. I allow it to be a norm for me, because when it comes to controlling my thoughts, I can control my thoughts if I want to. And right now, it's floodgated. I allow it to be floodgated with stressful thoughts and things of that nature. So one of the things that I'm going to start doing, like after we're, done recording this batch of episodes, is I need to start being more vocal when it comes to what's going on with me. Meaning, talk more with my wife, talk more with friends, colleagues, not share everything, but most importantly, and I stepped away from this when I was for the past couple of years, but I need to get back into it. I need to start journaling more. And journaling will basically, that's taking, a journal, writing down your thoughts, writing down what's going on through the day, and leaving it on paper as opposed to keeping it inside and consuming me, because there's stuff that I stress about that is a year old, which is ridiculous. But at the same time, I want to be transparent with you guys, and just or going out more, not always working. That's another piece. I mean, working, like Nissar says all the time, work smarter, not harder, to the point where I don't feel like I have to do everything all the time, right? And but it's okay if you're out there working on your career, working on your business and things of that nature. So, and I just thought of this, and if there's anybody else who wants to take on this challenge, let's do it. But there's 7 days in a week, granted. So you could work for 6 of those days, and then give that 1 day of rest. Ultimate rest, where you're not doing anything. You're not checking email. You're not taking any phone calls. You're not doing any of that. Just so that's like, they call it a mental health day, right?
Uh-huh.
So take a mental health day where you're not doing anything. What I'm going to do is use that as Sunday, where I can go to get up, wake up a little bit later, go to church, watch football, or do whatever, and just not do anything, regardless of the phone calls that I get, emails that I get that day, or whatever the case may be, and take that 1 day back for me. And with me, like I said, me having a wife and me having a child, even when I can't take a break of me being a father and a husband, but at least to the point where I get everything that I need to get done, so that Sunday, I'm a couch potato. I'm not doing anything, or I'm doing what I want to do, and just take that day and see how that goes. I know we talked about Jim Rohn in our earlier episodes, where he says, work 6 days and rest on the 7th. The same way how it's set up in the Bible. So it's the same thing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Sunday. Whatever's the best day for you, take that particular day. It may be a Monday, it may be a Friday, it may be a Wednesday, or whatever the case may be. But take that 1 day where you are doing what you want to do, because whether it's work, business, clients, your problems, business problems and things of that nature, they're all going to show up when it comes to your career. It's going to be there, but you need to take that day off, because your mind is your most powerful tool, right? And if your mind is stressful, everything else is going to fall by the wayside, and that's key. So the biggest thing to take away from the mental perspective, take that one, mental health day and do whatever you want to do. You'll feel more refreshed taking on the other 6 days of the week.
That's amazing. So it looks like we have covered a lot of ground here. So I don't think we talked about physical, mental, and getting started. I believe I don't have anything else to add, but one challenge I would say is go back, do something, start doing something today.
Yeah.
Your health is important. It's the only only body you have. With that, we'll like to wrap up, and I'd like to say, how are you taking care of your health, and how is that impacting your career in a positive or negative way? No judgments. We want to know, and we want to see how we can help. So share your comments below, and also make sure to check out our Facebook group, the CARE Club. Until the next episode, it'll be it's myself and Eric signing off. See you guys next time.
I'm about to do some push-ups right now. Bye, guys.